The ubiquitous XLR connector. We've all had problems with bad cables, but usually it's the cable that's been damaged, not the connector. But here's just an example of what can happen to the actual connectors after a period of time. These aren't ones that have been had equipment dropped on them or doused in salt water or anything like that, just oxidation over time. Here's the brand new one, fresh from Liechtenstein, nice and shiny. So here's another Neutrik XLR connector, same design, manufactured around 1998, and it's been about 15 years in service. As you see, it looks a little bit oxidized, or actually terribly oxidized, and you'd think something awful had happened to this connector, but no, it was just plugged into fixed equipment. It was in a bar. Not in a bad location. It was up high, well out of range of splashes and things like that. The first several years of its existence, there was still smoking allowed in that bar, but I don't think that's contributed much to this, perhaps a little bit. And does this dark color on here, this oxidation, is it actually affecting the performance of this connector? And in this case, it definitely was. I'm going to play the noise that was generated by this bad connector. I first noticed it when I was using a wireless unit, and I thought it was an RF problem. And the next time I noticed it, it was with a condenser mic, and I thought it was a microphone problem. Then I discovered the problem seemed to follow the cable. It wasn't the equipment that was attached to it. So I'm going to play you the noise. It's ramped up really loud, so it wasn't quite this dominant in real life situation. Here's the mate to that connector. It was from the very same installation, and this one's been cleaned up. I was very aggressive on this one though. I was using cleaner and steel wool. I'm going to see what the minimum amount of work can be used to clean these up. Here's the cleaner that I generally use. I know it's much more expensive than the no-name brand cleaners. I don't know that it actually works a lot better. I think it does, but so I'm going to start with just the deoxit on this connector. And that actually made some progress. Here's a little more deoxit with this is actually a nylon brush. Yeah, I got impatient, went for the steel wool. Now, this cable, the one I just worked on, I think I stopped at the right spot. Looks like we're down to clean nickel. The previous one I did, I think I was a little bit too aggressive on, and I've gone past the nickel and exposed a bit of the copper underneath, which is not good because copper oxidizes that much faster. But the tricky part is what to do with the female connector, because you can't get steel wool or Q-tips in there. And that's where these little micro nylon bottle brushes come into play. With a bit of deoxit, of course. And there we go. Good for a couple more years.